Welcome to Funtown Splashtown, a beautiful park in Saco, Maine. What you're looking at here in the distance is Excalibur, the park's big and thrilling wooden roller coaster with its Camelot-themed station. And what we're going to do is do a little walk-through. It's not a very big park, but there's quite a bit in it. The entrance is located over here, and in the distance you can see the towering water slides. The water park has grown enormously over the past several years and is really one of the biggest features about the park. So let's mosey on over to the entrance and start the tour. Now over on the left you can see the group sales check-in for outings. And there's also the season pass processing area. And on the right are the ticket booths. So let's pass right through the ticket booths onto the Midway. So once you're past the ticket booths, this is what you see. You have restrooms on the right. We're going to walk straight down here toward the water park area. This is where the entrance to the actual water park is. The park has several dead ends, and we'll negotiate those as we go along. So that's the entrance, and there's a big sort of stadium area where you can sit and watch the water park. A basketball game, and over here are the go-karts. And let's take a little walk up these bleachers here and look over. You can get a view of the water park. It was a pretty chilly day and the water park wasn't open when we were there. But this gives you a general idea about the size of it. What you're looking at is about 3/4 of the park. There's a lot more of it over there. And here's the Grand Prix. It's an upcharge, but it's a pretty nice go-kart track. Now, in front of us, once again, is the entrance. And you can see Dragon's Descent, the drop tower going up over there. But we're going to take a little right here to an almost hidden area. I love that neon rainbow above this entrance. And there's a pretty steep set of stairs that goes over the antique car ride in this area. And now you get a better overview of the go-karts. And over here, you can see the east end of the park. In front of us is a carousel. It's a pretty standard fiberglass carousel, but it does have a working Stinson band organ that sounds really nice. Of course, right now, it's not playing because it's in the middle of switching roles. And here's a bumper boat ride over here, and in the distance you can see a Ferris wheel. And there's the Barney Oldfield Roadsters, which is the first of 2 antique car rides in the park. And there's the band organ. Now there's a handicap ramp over here, which is also good for strollers if you have kids. And that takes you out a little bit north of where we're going to be here. And notice the signs. There's a lot of really good signage in this park to help you figure out where things are. So the section of the park that we're in right now, it's the main area of the Midway, and it forms a basic loop, and we're going to do a sort of counterclockwise swoop in here. But first I'm going to take you to another little area of the park that's hidden away. This is the beautiful entrance to Dragon's Descent. There's a lot of really nice theming in this park and a lot of nice landscaping. There isn't much else in this area, but it really looks pretty. And those Chinese lanterns look really nice at night. Yeah, that's pretty tall. As you can see, they even carried the theming over to this simple little drink concession here on the right. In front of us is a very large Dippin' Dot stand where you can get Dippin' Dots coffee and Dippin' Dot sundaes and Dippin' Dot shakes, pretty much anything you can think of doing with those little frozen pellets. So we'll take a right over here. This little stand is a fish pond. One of those nice concessions where kids will always come away with something. Now here are picnic areas. So if you have an outing, most likely it will be in one of these tents. And there are 3 sets of tents over in that area. There's another example of the beautiful flowers and plantings around. Now that's the other section of the oval. We'll be coming back to that. Another one of those nice neon rainbows. Over on the left is an arcade. They have kiddie rides scattered throughout the park. There's a sort of Maine Kiddie Land section over here on the left. And on the right there's a little kiddie canoe ride. In front of us is the Fun Factory, which is another arcade. Now we could take a left there and that would bring us around the loop to the other end of the park, but we're going to take a right. Hi, Karen. On the left is a Mexican food restaurant. It's actually really good. And on the right are the antique cars, the other antique car ride. It doesn't have any special name like the Barney Oldfield Roadsters. It's just called Antique Cars. Now here we could take one of 2 ways. We can climb these stairs or go on the left, follow a path, but we'll take that back. Instead we'll climb these stairs because it gives a nice overall view of the area down here. And there's a stock tray bant themed to a casino. And far in the distance is a really nice kiddie train ride. I wish it held adults, but it doesn't. And there's the teacup ride. And the Sea Dragon, a pirate ship. And over here on the right is Thunder Falls, which is a beautifully landscaped flume ride.
Like a German flag was on Nick's locker, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with a German flag, but I have a feeling that they're like sort of thinking like. Yeah, I don't know if we're doing it.
Now from here, if we were to turn left, it would take us around that path I told you about earlier. We're going to go right, and this is a dead end, but I just want to show you what's down here. Yes, it's Camelot. I know it sounds a bit bizarre, but in Camelot, that's how conditions are. There's Excalibur buried in the stone, and this really nice shady bridge over a brook takes you to Excalibur, the roller coaster. But that's all that's there, so I'm not going to walk down there because that literally is the entrance to Excalibur right there. You just sort of bear right and there's the station. But it's an amazing coaster. It's buried in the woods with lots of twists and turns and lots of airtime. Really intense ride. So let's head back along that path I told you about. So down this end you can see there are a couple other rides. We have the Thunderbolt over here and the Flying Trapeze over here. It's nice on a hot day to have a lot of shade in this park. This is the Kiddie train ride in front of us, and there's a lot of really nice landscaping and statuary in there. In fact, a lot of the statuary that you'll see around this area of the park was salvaged from the park's old mini golf course. They had a very large mini golf course that was beautifully landscaped, and that was removed to allow for an expansion of the water park. And once again, the weird background sounds you're hearing are to prevent the copyright police from swallowing this video whole. And this brings us full circle back out onto the main section of the Midway. So now we'll take a ride over here by the Fun Factory Arcade, and we'll look at the final section of Midway. In front of us you can see the park's Wild Mouse and a Tilt-A-Whirl there on the left. The shop here over on the right is Hawaiian Drinks and Rhodey's Chicken. There are plenty of food offerings in the park. And over here, tucked lonely away in the corner of the park, is a sub shop. It has paninis too and fried dough. This huge striped dome is Astrosphere, which is basically an in-the-dark scrambler. Here's another view of the other side of Kiddie Land. And that blue building over there with Socket to 'em on it is a Dodgem car building. And there's an ice cream shop. Now down here, this corridor is a whole stretch of games, and they weren't open when we were there, and they also blocked off. The games used to circle around and come out on the other side, and they blocked it off for some reason. I don't know if they're going to be doing something else with that section of Midway or not. And Heritage House of Gifts has some really pretty souvenirs. Now you see that sort of Tudor building off in the distance with the stone front. That was once a haunted house the park had, and they turned it over into a storage area, and now it's sort of part of the water park area. Hungry Bear is the other big eatery down this section of the park, with again really nice landscaping. And that brings us back to the front of the park. So as you can see, Funtown is not a huge park. It's a good-sized family park. Small children and teens will have a great time here, and families will have a great time because there's enough stuff to do for the whole family. So if you happen to be driving up in this area of Maine, if you're going to the beaches, it's worth a stop here, especially if you have kids. And especially if you like wooden roller coasters, because Excalibur is quite a thrill. It's pretty intense. So spend a few hours or a few days at beautiful Funtown in Saco, Maine.